Hello and welcome to another installment of Conspirator Brock's Poll List. This is my poll list for the week of October 8th, 2014. Another decent-sized week this week, so let's get right into it. First up is Batman 35, Endgame Part 1. If you can't tell, I'll put a little bit closer to you. Can you see that price point right there? $4.99. There was a slight uproar about this book going to $4.99. Scott Snyder and Capullo actually went to DC and said, no, don't charge $4.99. So I believe today DC officially announced that they are not going to be charging $4.99. So this first part of the story arc is $4.99, but from here on out it should be $3.99. I don't know how that affects the digital copy. I know Charlie bought his digital combo pack and it was $5.99, so we'll see if that price point stays or if it goes back to the $4.99 for the digital combo. But I'm looking forward to Snyder's and Capullo's Endgame on Batman. I flipped through this already. It looks reminiscent of Frank Miller's Dark Knight, and some quirky stuff that has gone through the Batman mythos. And somebody comes back in this, and it's not that big of a surprise, but it's awesome that they're back. So, Batman 35. It's on newsstands, or at your comic book store. I don't even know if they do newsstands anymore. Next up is Batman Eternal, number 27. I still got a chunk of these to read, due to a few weeks ago not being able to record and having to double up and getting a little behind. I'm behind on my Batman Eternal reading, but I look forward to getting into it. From what I had gotten to, it was really good, and I can't wait to read what I have built up. Next up, we have The Death-Defying Dr. Mirage. This is number 2 of 5, according to Comixology. I enjoyed the first one. It was, it was fair. It was a good read, so I'm going to keep checking out Dr. Mirage. But, yeah, number 2. Next up, we have Earth 2, number 27. Looks like a family reunion. Ooh. Earth 2 has been amazing. Tom Taylor's been doing a great job in this book. I highly, highly recommend it. If you're on conspiratorbrock.com watching this, and you actually see the ads on the pages, the Amazon link to Earth 2 Volume 4 hardcover, The Dark Ages I believe it's called, is up there. I do highly recommend you pick up Earth 2. It's a really, really great read. Look through the Amazon link and you help me buy it. You help me out a little bit, and I appreciate that. So, but Earth 2, you need to be reading it. It's really, really good because it also ties in with Earth 2 World's End number 1, the third weekly title from DC that's coming out. It's $2.99 price point, great price point. I'm looking forward to it with the stuff that's been going on with Future's End and all the multiversity stuff, in addition to the kind of spoiler, the Superman Doomed ending where we got Brainiacs looking into pre-52 worlds in the Bleed, I think it's called. Yeah, Earth 2 World's End, really looking forward to this. Next up we have Justice League United number 5. Justice League has been United has been a slow burn. This is the 6th issue because there was a 0. The first story arc was okay. It was enjoyable enough. I think it suffers greatly from being interrupted with, by some big thing with like Future's End. Interrupted it last month. So I'm curious to see where this title goes. The Future's End Justice League stuff was really good. So and it's Jeff Lemire, and he's been doing a really good job with this title so far, even though we haven't gotten very much from it. But Justice League United number 5. Then next we have the New 52 Future's End number 23. Like Batman Eternal, I have a backlog. I can't wait to get to it. If you notice the background here, there's a whole bunch of kind of multiverse characters in the back. I don't know if it's a good view, but if you get to your local comic store and check out this and check out I think the previous issue, they have the connecting issues. So some of that multiverse and pre-52 stuff is featured in that kind of blackish reddish cloud in the background. So we'll see where it goes once I actually get to reading the chunk that I've built up. So Then next up we have the new Suicide Squad number 3. First 2 issues were okay. I'm curious to see if it keeps my interest. I really love the Suicide Squad. The take's been really good since the New 52. Again, this book suffered from Future's End, being that it had 2 issues and then a Future's End issue and now issue 3. So I think, was there a 0? I don't remember, but it kind of jars the flow of the story. So we'll see where this goes. There was also a variant cover for it, which I picked up, which is Black Manta separating Harley and Joker's daughter. So yeah, I'm a sucker. I like the Suicide Squad. What can I say? Then next up we have World's Finest, but not the World's Finest that you know. And Levitz is probably not going to rip the, chest area off of one of these characters, but it's World's Finest Superman and Batman. This is World's Finest number 27. I've been enjoying World's Finest. It's not the best read, but it is an entertaining read, and it's nice to see some of the Earth 2 characters. So I'm curious to see his take on the Earth 2 Batman and the Earth 2 Superman. I believe these 2 are. So yeah, check it out. Oh, almost done. This is almost done. Almost. Scott Snyder fans out there, he has a new Image title, new number 1. Wytches number 1 is out today. Jock is the artist. That combination alone, you should go down and buy it to check it out. But Wytches from Scott Snyder, I'm really looking forward to this. I just finished reading today the American Vampire. What was it? Hold on, it's right here, so I can tell you. American Vampire Second Cycle, issue number 5, which was amazing. I really, really enjoy that American Vampire stuff, and so I'm really curious to see Snyder's take on Wytches. So, yeah, but check it out. Wytches number 1 is on shelves. Then last but not least on my pull list is X-O Manowar number 0. I haven't actually finished the Armor Hunter stuff because, again, I got a little backlog going. So hopefully I'll be able to get those Armor Hunter issues knocked out in the next week or so. And then I can get to reading this because it looks like this kind of ties in with what kind of happens after Armor Hunters. So X-O Manowar number 0. Valiant, still kicking it out of the park with this title. Still enjoying it. So that was my pull list. Those are the titles that I decided to pick up and acquire for my collection. Another trade came out today besides the Earth 2 hardcover. I didn't pick it up. I'm going to, though. But Green Arrow number 5, The Outsiders War. If you did not read Jeff Lemire and Andreas Sorrento's Green Arrow, you need to get these trades. This stuff is awesome. This is probably going to be one of my top Green Arrow reads. It's just really well written. The art is amazing. The story, it just flows. The action is awesome. It gives a grittiness to Green Arrow, and just overall, Lemire tells an amazing story about Oliver Queen as Green Arrow. But this is volume 5. You only don't go get volume 1, 2, or 3. You only need to start with volume 4, which I think is called The Killing Machine. So if you haven't, go grab Green Arrow volume 4, The Killing Machine, and that's the first part of Jeff Lemire's work run on that. And then you have 5, which is out today. So, all right, now we get to my read list. So these are the titles I read, just to kind of be caught up on stuff. Not necessarily because, some of them I do read because I enjoy them. Others I'm just reading to check out and see what's going on. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 7. This looks like Miss Marvel needs some more exposure. So they're shoving her in here, and there's the Edge of the Spider-Verse. I guess it's a backup. I don't know. I didn't flip through it. So, but Amazing Spider-Man number 7. It's been okay since Peter Parker came back. It hasn't grabbed me like it did with Brand New Day and all that. But I'm still checking it out. We'll see if it holds my interest. But Amazing Spider-Man number 7. Next up, we have this nice little flyer that you can get from your local comic book shop. It's Avengers X-Men Access. This is to introduce the Access title that's coming out from Marvel. So you hold it up like this, and then check this out. It holds. Oh, that's upside down. Well, I guess. Look, you flip it this way, and look, it still says Access. So open it up. Boom. There's a fine line. Uh-oh. Boom. Boom. Between good and evil. Boom. Boom. Access. This thing holds funny. Access. Or Avengers and X-Men Access #1 comes out, which is the next title on my read list. There it is. Avengers and X-Men Access #1. This is book 1, The Red Supremacy. We talked on the podcast this week if you had to read anything to get caught up. I'm just going to read the little couple pages that's in the beginning of this book of the previously happened, so hopefully that gets me caught up enough to read Access. I'm a little bit confused as to Thor seems to have his axe here in this, and his arm is covered up, so I don't know exactly where this takes place in Marvel continuity, especially with what's going on in the Thor book, and especially with stuff that happened during and after Original Sin. So once I read it, I'll kind of see where the placement of this goes, and but hopefully I enjoy this. So, I mean, the title's pretty cool. I mean, you flip it upside down, it still says Access. You flip it up right side up, it still says Access. So, I mean, that's a nice little thing they did. But we'll see if the story holds up. Next up is a title that fucking jumped off of my pull list like that. And this title is Batgirl. Batgirl number 35 is out. Hipster Batgirl. Taking photos and posting them on Instagram. Batgirl. I believe the opening page of this has Batgirl looking at a dick pic on somebody's phone. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through this. It scares me to no end that DC went this extreme with Batgirl after such an amazing run from Gail Simone to then take her to this. I mean, this to me looks like some fucking chick is cosplaying as Batgirl and, trying to get hits on her Instagram account. Like, seriously, that's what it fucking looks like. If this book is aimed towards the Tumblr people, I don't know why the fuck you're aiming books at Tumblr. They don't buy fucking comics. So Batgirl literally jumped off of my fucking pull list. I can tell you exactly why. It was, if you've read any DC comic books in the past couple weeks, they've had a Batgirl ad that is abysmally horrible and connected to social media and just complete garbage. And I honestly, at this point, I'm most likely going to take my Batgirl run, Gail Simone run, and put it up on eBay. Not because I don't care about it. It's a great run. I'm just going to get those issues in hardcovers and enjoy them that way. I don't need the single issues, especially since this garbage came out, and I'll have a hole in my collection if I do end up keeping it, because I can't justify paying any money for this garbage. Any money. But I'm going to read it and suffer through it. And most likely, I will not read issue 36. So this will probably be goodbye to Batgirl for a while. We'll see. But to those of you who are excited, I hope it hits the mark it's supposed to hit with you, and I hope you really enjoy the title. But for me, Batgirl, this is probably the last time you're going to see Batgirl on this pull list. But Batgirl 35, new hipster cosplay fucking chick Batgirl, is out. Next up is a #1 from Image, Birthright, #1. Art looks amazing. Curious to see what the title's about. Kind of flipped through it. Art looks good. It's kind of fantasy-esque with a little boy kind of in current time. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm going to check out Birthright #1. Next up is Rick Remender's Black Science #9. Black Science has been okay. It hasn't been the best title. It's an okay read. I enjoy it enough, so I'm going to keep plugging along and reading it. I'm not exactly sure what where the book is going. I mean, I know what's going on in the book, but for the most part, I'm not sure what the overall encompassing story is going to be. But we shall see. So, Black Science number 9. Next up, we have Act 1, Part 3 of Godhead, which is in Green Lantern Corps number 35. I read Green Lantern New Gods, Godhead number 1, and Green Lantern Act 1, which was the Godhead 1 was Act 1, Part 1. The Green Lantern 35 was Godhead Act 1, Part 2, and now we have Godhead Act 1, Part 3 from the Green Lantern Corps 35. It was okay enough. I'm going to keep reading to see if I'm interested, but it's definitely better than some of the couple previous kind of Lantern crossover books that happened after John's ended and Tomasi left. So we'll see what happens, but Green Lantern Corps number 35. Next up is, I think you say a Clarion, number 1, from DC. It's basically a miniseries. They don't list it here, but it's basically going to be a miniseries. And Nissetti's writing, so it's not. I don't necessarily foresee it being the best, but I'm going to check it out. I've always been curious about this character. Shows up in 7 Soldiers, right? Grant Morrison thing, which I haven't read yet, but hopefully I'll get to at some point. But I'm going to check out Clarion number 1. Next up, we have Punisher number 11. If you haven't been reading Edmondson's Punisher, you should. It is amazing. Really solid book. Really just great art. Goes along with the book very well. Yeah, it's a good Punisher title, and I'm glad I actually picked this up and read it because it's one of the better Marvel books out now. Next up, we have Superman and Wonder Woman 12, Superman Doomed Aftermath. There was one book, I think, last week that was Superman Doomed Aftermath. I flipped through it and didn't give a shit about anything in it. But I have been reading Superman and Wonder Woman, so I'm going to read this one. We'll see if anything in the Aftermath is explained with Brainiac or what's going on with Superman or where I think he disappears after this, but we'll see. But this is like the tail end of Superman Doomed, so... sorry. Long day. Next up is Thanos, A God Up There Is Listening number 1. I assume this is a one-shot. It's a new material. It looks interesting enough. The artwork's not so bad in it, so I'm actually going to give this one a go. The last couple have been not really up my alley, but we'll see if this is a good, solid Thanos story. So those are all the books that I brought home to read. And there were some that I wasn't able to because we didn't get enough. Of those ones that we didn't get enough, we had Aliens vs. Predator, Fire and Stone, number 1 of 4 from Dark Horse. The Prometheus one came out, and the Alien one came out, and both of those I really enjoyed. I thought they were really solid titles, and I'm actually looking forward to reading those. Hopefully we still get copies in so that I can at least read it at some point. If we don't, then these are probably going to be books that I pick up and trade because I did enjoy those first issues. So hopefully AVP, Fire and Stone hits that mark as well. Then next up we have Coffin Hill number 12. We are pretty much going to sub only with that book. It's okay. It's not the best. I don't know if I'm going to continue reading it once we go to sub only. I probably won't. I don't even know if I'll pick up trades on it or not. But we'll see. Then next up we have Constantine. Sorry, Constantine number 18. It's supposed to be a World's End or featured. I think it's a World's End tie-in book. I didn't grab it. We only had 2 copies on the shelf, so we'll see if I actually get to read a copy. But I've been enjoying Constantine for the most part. But it's not a title that I feel I absolutely have to have. Next up is FBP, or Federal Bureau of Physics, number 14. I've actually enjoyed Federal Bureau of Physics. It's interesting enough. It's got a good, decent feel to it. The art works very well with the book. So, issue 14. Then next up we have Nightcrawler, number 7. It's a Death of Wolverine tie-in book this week. We'll see if I enjoy it. Nightcrawler's been okay, but it hasn't done anything to really grab me. And then last but not least is Thief of Thieves number 24. I keep bouncing back and forth whether or not I'm just going to get this book just in trade. much like I get Walking Dead or Invincible. Most likely, I think I'm going to make the transfer to just trade with Thief of Thieves and also with like Peter Pan's or Fast. They're great titles, but again, I think I'd just much rather pick them up and trade. So, again, thank you for listening. If you have noticed, I did not wear a t-shirt tonight due to the fact that it is freaking hot here in California. We have had abnormally hot weather these past few weeks. It's October and the temperature outside is like 80 or 90 degrees. Right now in the garage, I am baking because of just the trapped heat in here. It's not unbearable, but you know, taking off a layer of clothing just to kind of chill out a little bit. So yeah, but again, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're on my, you can visit www.conspiratorbrock.com. That's where this video is posted. Also with link postings there for the Comic Conspiracy podcast, which we record on Monday nights. Please like, share, comment on this video. Let me know what you think, what I can do better, what I'm doing good, what I'm nailing, so on and so forth. I do appreciate the guys that do comment. I'm sorry if you're... Hopefully this video is a lot better on your eyes this time. But yeah, for those of you who wish to help me out in little ways that you can buy your comics digitally through Comics Conspiracy's digital storefront. Any of the links on my blog, if you're watching this there underneath, will take you to the Comixology page for Comics Conspiracy. And anything you buy through there, the store gets a little cut. And also anything you buy, click and buy on through any links on Amazon on my site, be it in these posts, the ads, or if you go to my read list page or my reading list page, which is located up top. You can see what I've been reading, what I'm currently reading trade-wise. There are a couple books on there, but anything you click on through that with Amazon and stuff, that helps me out a little bit, and I do appreciate that. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. Apparently, I've been yawning a lot. Sorry about that. Thanks again, and I will see you next week.